Hey, this is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whoever you are that's watching. We saw in Psalm 6 David crying out, "O Lord, O Lord, O Lord, O Lord, O Lord, O Lord, man, O Lord, O Lord, O Lord." 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20-something times he's calling, "O Lord, O Lord." And then we get to Psalm 8, and in Psalm 8 he begins to come out and record how excellent the Lord is. He's coming out of his place of self-pity, in his place where he can only see me. He can only see himself in this period of time. We go through these times. We go through times when we can't express what our heart really feels because we have done something to pierce our soul. And like you said over in Proverbs chapter 7, the young man that had laid with a woman, he pierced his soul, and the arrow was sticking through his soul. And afterwards in the morning came, after he'd been with somebody else's wife all night, in the morning came, and he had to face the world. And he had lost his virginity, and he was in a place where I don't know where I am. And by the way, he's not able to come back to the same woman. She don't want to do with him again. That was a one-time thing for her. That was an everyday practice for her. She didn't want him again. She never want to see him again. She didn't want him in her life causing problems and troubles with her and her husband. She didn't want her husband to know anything about it. She didn't want everybody to die. She didn't want a steady man. She just wanted to wreck as many as she can, one behind the other, as fast as she can, go as far as she can go without getting caught and not have this problem. So that's the way sin is. The devil doesn't care how many times you really commit this particular sin. He would just like to get you in at one time and put it on your heart and put it in your life to where it will disturb between you and God. Well, here David was over here in these other two Psalms. He has a heart after God, and he has pierced his soul asunder with some grief, and got some people mad at him, got some things going on, got some stuff stirred up, and now he's begging for mercy. Well, God gives him some mercy. Over here in chapter 9, we're going to read, "I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works." Now, here's the same man that was in the valley over there. And the valley, as the preacher said the other day, is always between two mountains. You're coming down off of one mountain to get into the valley, and you're starting up the other mountain to get out of the valley. Now, while you're in the valley, you need to learn, and perhaps David, if he hadn't wrote these couple of Psalms, which he did by the order of the Holy Spirit, so that you and I could have them to see what a misery place his life was, is he did that. The Lord had that penned down so that you and I could have it for our advice, for our use, so that we could see a man with his heart after God, what happens to him if he follows the way of Balaam, or the way of the world, with his body. And so he's going to have to be careful. But he said, now, Lord, I got some of this stuff behind me. I'm beginning to see, and I can see thy marvelous works. And I will be glad and rejoice in thee, and I will sing praises to thy name, O thou most high. Verse 2 of 9. It said, when mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right and my course. Thou sittest in thy throne judging. Now, you know what? You know, the Lord may not have struck those people David was talking about over here with any kind of anything. He didn't maybe strike them with lightning. Maybe he didn't kill them all. Maybe he didn't put them all to shame. Maybe he didn't do anything, but he did something for David. He made David's heart right. David made his soul right. He could look back then at his enemies and not have this anguish against them and whatever, because he was looking through righteous eyes. It's not God's will to destroy the heathen. It is not God's will to destroy the heathen. It is his will to deliver the heathen from his heathenism and bring him into the fold. It is not God's will that any should perish into hell. So therefore, David may have been in a hurry over here for God to put lightning down there and kill a bunch of these people. And God's not in a hurry to do that. So what does God have to do? He has to get David's heart right, where David will see that he needs to forgive these people. And beside that, too, on top of it, it may be something he caused himself, what he did in the flesh. And so he needs to forgive these people, not pray death on them. And by the way, God delivered David, and he will deliver others, and he will deliver us. It said, when mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right in my cause. Thou settest in the throne judging. Now he knows God's up there judging. Let's look at some things where God is. God's in heaven, in the place where he worked heaven by his own fingertips. He made the moon and the stars. He made the earth. He made the work with his hands. In chapter 6, it tells about that. And he gave all sleep and the oxen, chapter 7, to man. And he gave the beast of the field, and he gave the fowls of the air and the fish of the sea. He gave all of these things in the first few days of creation for man. And then he oversees them, and he oversees man. And David's saying, wow, I'll praise thee, O Lord, and I'll rejoice, and I'll tell people that all this stuff out here is what you did, is what you made. Verse 5 of chapter 9 says this, O thou enemy, destruction are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities, and their memorial is perished with them. But the Lord shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment, and he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. And the Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, and a refuge in the time of trouble. Here is a man, David. Just a little bit ago, and a couple Psalms before this, he was in trouble, and he needed a refuge. And now he's back in that place of refuge, and he's repeating what he's feeling and what he's seeing, and he's writing it down. Why? Why is he writing this down? He's writing it down for you and me, that you and me can see it, that through all the trouble and everything, there's a way out. There's going to come a time of refuge, and a time when we're in trouble is going to pass. Verse 10, and they that know thy name will put their trust in thee, for thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. David sought God with his whole heart, in spite of the fact he had a problem with his body, and he got in trouble with his body, and he got to where he was. And now he says in verse 11, sing praises to the Lord, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doings. And when he maketh inquisition for blood, remember them. He forgetteth not the city that is humble. Look, humble yourself before God.